so we'll just go right straight to you, Secretary Austin.
Good morning, Chairman Tester and the distinguished members of the committee. Thank you for the chance to testify today in support of the President's budget request for fiscal year 2023. Mr. Chairman, we're still focused on three key priorities at the Department of Defense: defending our nation, taking care of our people, and succeeding through teamwork. And our budget request helps us meet each one of those priorities. Our budget seeks more than $56 billion for air power platforms and systems, and more than $40 billion to maintain our dominance at sea, including buying 9 more Battle Force ships, and almost $13 billion to support and modernize our combat-credible forces on land. Our budget also funds the modernization of all 3 legs of the nuclear triad to ensure that we maintain a safe, secure, and effective strategic deterrent. Of course, none of these capabilities matter much without our people and their families. So we're seeking your support for a 4.6% pay raise for our military and civilian personnel and other special pay and benefits. We also plan to invest in outstanding and affordable child care, in the construction of on-base child development centers, and in ensuring that all our families can always put good and healthy food on the table. We're also deeply focused on the terrible problem of suicide in the U.S. military. So we're increasing access to mental health care, expanding telehealth capacities, and fighting the tired old stigmas against seeking help. With your support, I've just ordered the establishment of an independent review committee to help us grapple with suicide, to better understand it, to prevent it, and to treat the unseen wounds that lead to it. At the same time, we're working hard to implement the recommendations of the Independent Review Commission on Sexual Assault. We know that we have a long way to go to rid ourselves of this scourge. Our budget seeks nearly $480 million to do just that. This is a leadership issue, and you have my personal commitment to keep leading. You're also seeing how much our leadership matters when it comes to Ukraine. And just last week, I convened the first meeting of what is now the Contact Group on Ukrainian Security, a group of defense leaders from around the world committed to supporting Ukraine after Russia's unprovoked and unjust invasion. Now, that gathering sent a powerful signal that nations of goodwill are intensifying their efforts to help Ukraine better defend itself. And with the help of Congress, the United States has been able to deliver security assistance to Ukraine with unprecedented speed and resolve. And that has made a huge difference on the ground. President Zelensky made that clear when I met him in Kyiv, along with Secretary of State Blinken just over a week ago. Even before Putin started his war of choice, we provided Ukraine with $1 billion worth of weapons and gear through Presidential Drawdown Authority. And since Russia's invasion, the United States has committed some $3.7 billion to Ukraine. But the war is changing, and the coming weeks will be crucial. Our goal is to help get the Ukrainians the capability that they need most right now in the Donbass and in the South. Now, as you know, the President has nearly exhausted the drawdown authority that Congress approved in March. So last week, he submitted to you a $33 billion supplemental request, which will help us continue to meet Ukraine's urgent requirements without interruption. Specifically, we are requesting, as you pointed out, Chairman, $16 billion for the Department of Defense, which includes $5 billion of additional drawdown authority, $6 billion more for the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, and another $5 billion for critical investments to help cover the operational cost of bolstering NATO's eastern flank. I want to thank you for your strong leadership toward our shared goal of helping Ukraine defend itself and supporting NATO. I hope the Congress will quickly approve this supplemental. Now, let me briefly mention a couple of other major efforts that the Department's focused on. As you know, the Department's pacing challenge remains countering aggression and bullying from China. So this budget invests some $6 billion in the Pacific Deterrence Initiative. And in keeping with our new national defense strategy, we're going to enhance our force posture, our infrastructure, our presence, and our readiness in the Indo-Pacific. including the missile defense of Guam. At the same time, we must be prepared for threats that pay no heed to borders, from pandemics to climate change. And we must tackle the persistent threats posed by North Korea, Iran, and global terrorist groups. So I'm proud that our budget seeks more than $130 billion for research, development, testing, and evaluation, the largest R&D request this department has ever made. This includes $1 billion for artificial intelligence, $250 million for 5G, nearly $28 billion for space capabilities, and another $11 billion to protect our networks and develop a cyber mission force. Mr. Chairman, this budget maintains our edge, but it does not take that edge for granted. And through the President's budget and with the help of this committee, we will continue to defend this nation, take care of our people, and support our allies and partners. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.